The latest weather updates, keeping you ahead of the storm. 96.3 FM, 1370 AM, The Source.
Today will be mostly sunny and pleasant with a high of 83 to 85. Then clear skies this evening, low tonight 65 to 72. Partly sunny on Wednesday, high tomorrow 85 to 87. Then Thursday we'll have mostly sunny skies with a high of 86 to 89. From the Florida Weather Center, I'm Holly Holdren.
You know what you want to do in retirement, but do you know how to get there? Tune in to Coasting into Retirement with Gary Marriage of Nature Coast Financial Advisors, Sunday mornings at 8 to get answers to your retirement planning questions. Plan today so you can do the things you've always dreamt about doing in retirement. Listen Sunday mornings at 8 to Coasting into Retirement with Gary Marriage of Nature Coast Financial Advisors.
Our firm offers insurance services.
That's right. It's In the Garden with Master Gardener Carol Ann Baldwin. She's here every Tuesday taking your phone call. 622-9622 is the number to call if you want to be part of the program with In the Garden with Carol Ann Baldwin. Carol Ann, good morning.
Good morning, Tom. How you doing?
You know, I'm walking with a cane now. I'm getting old and falling apart, Carol Ann.
I think we hit that age, and yeah, it's just
I'm
like
like
the warranty ran out.
Yeah, I'm like
and they don't call and ask you to extend that warranty.
Right.
Yeah.
I'm like a cucumber vine. I've used my usefulness
step
is
on-
gone.
You shrivel up and die
My
now? I don't
usefulness
think
is
so.
gone.
Yeah.
Hey, I got to start the show by getting this out of the way because if I don't, my home life will not be good.
Okay.
You know, Susan cleared out an area to make a garden.
Right.
And so now she's got compost questions.
Okay.
And I told her, you know, she listened last week about putting the manure on the dirt
Right.
and everything.
And then just not having to work too hard to get it in there.
So she wants to start a compost.
Okay.
With our kitchen scraps and stuff like that.
Okay.
And she says, is that something she has to do in like a trash can or something to get this compost going heat-wise? Or can she take the chicken scraps and stuff like the kitchen scraps and stuff like that and put it right in the soil on the manure and everything and just mix it in?
Got you. Yep, I got you. And actually, that's I had a friend, one of my mentors, actually, who was within Master Gardeners. He's deceased now, but passed many years ago, Bill Miranda, if anybody remembers him. He used to have to, he called it his secret composting. He would collect his kitchen scraps in like I don't know, does anybody have the giant Tupperware or butter tubs anymore? And he'd collect up the eggshells and the trimmings off of everything in there. And once a week, he'd go out into whatever part of the garden, whether or not it was his little bit of vegetables or flower bed, take the post hole diggers or the spade or something, dig a hole a few inches down and dump that one in there. Cover it back over with the same dirt. Next week, he'd go into a different spot and just buried it right in. And you can do that. It will rot out.
Now, we have a food processor.
Okay.
Could you put the scraps on a food processor and grind them up? And then
put them,
Would that be even better?
Oh, yeah, that's going to break down even faster. I would just make sure, I would still put them under some of the soil at least, so that, because it's going to have an odor, even if we're not picking up on it, that may attract
varmint,
vermin that come through. Right, you don't want the dog to jump up and go rolling in it just because it smells good to them.
Right.
Yeah, so put it a couple of inches down below, or like I said, in between some shrubbery in the flower beds and things like that, or just right into the
like you said,
garden.
dig a little hole and put it in. You make individual little compost holes.
Right. And even if someone has a large, say a big garden area, they can build like out of a chicken wire. Don't do that.
They went to cane.
Say somebody's got, say, a big 4x100 or 4 by 25, where you got about 96 square feet of gardening area. You can take and get you a piece of chicken wire and put it and make like a circle out of it and put it in one spot. Layer your grass clippings and your leaves that you're raking and your kitchen scraps and things like that, and make your pile and let that begin to do its thing. After that's cooked, and I'm a lazy composter, after that's begun to go for a little while, you can take and just, as it's breaking down, move that wire down, pick it up, move it down, and just sort of turn that all in. Move it to the next spot. Do it all over again. But in a small bed like she's got, running it through the food processor, the blender, something like that. You throw, if you have to, throw a little water in it so it'll blend, and just dig a little hole, dump it in there, pour it in there, and you're good to go.
So there, I got that out of the way.
Yeah, got that out of the way. And a lot of people, like if they have staghorn ferns. Staghorn ferns love bananas, banana peels. And everybody says, just throw a banana peel. And I always think, God, that's gotta smell after a while, or just get kind of gross. I've not tried it myself, and if somebody wants to try this, is take that banana peel, throw it in the blender with some water, turn it into a slurry.
Okay.
Maybe let it, if you want to let it sit to where that leaches some of that out, and then strain it, or just take and water it with it. That's going to break down and be absorbed, I would think, a lot more quickly, and could also be probably used on other plants as well, where you're not looking at a nasty looking banana peel, thrown in the top of the plants, because I just have a feeling outside the squirrel's going to grab that, or something else is going to grab it and make it, just, I don't know, I just find the idea of just being unattractive. So my thought was to turn it into a slurry.
So Susan says, thank you.
Yeah.
Now I don't have to spend $100 on a compost unit.
Right, exactly. And especially if you've got a small garden, you guys don't mow your own grass.
We do not.
And so even the leaves that are coming out of those oak trees and stuff, they're just getting chopped up when they come through and mow.
They are.
And going back to feeding the ground. So it's like, why would you? I mean, see, now I got a ton of leaves right now because the gum trees are all dropping leaves, and my deck is covered in leaves right now. I'm going, yes, I'm on vacation starting tomorrow. Guess what I'm doing? Getting the leaves off the deck and probably mowing the yard to chop them all up.
Yeah, because the leaves are starting to fall on a couple of our trees.
Right.
And they chop them up. Could I go then and take a little plastic rake or something for the leaves that are laying in the yard that have been chopped up and use those as compost, put them in there?
Yeah. Well, that's, we were talking before, don't understand why people use pine straw for mulch. And I said, to me, I agree that pine straw belongs in yards with pine trees. Oak leaves or possibly a wood mulch in a yard with oak leaves. But rake your oak leaves back up around the trees and use those for your mulch.
Good morning. You're on with Master Gardener Caroline Baldwin.
Good morning, Carol.
Morning, Sonny.
This is Sonny calling. One of the best ways I found to make a compost pile was to get three the wood delivery pallets.
Yeah.
And you just set them up in a U-shaped form and put a post and a metal piece of pipe in the middle. Mm-hmm. And just add the compost to that. I also found that the compost was improved if you added eggshells. Yes. Instead of throwing them in the garbage or wherever, you add that to the compost along with the coffee grounds.
Yep. Oh, yeah. Coffee grounds are fantastic. Eggshells also. I like to dry the eggshells a little bit, like just set them on the counter, or even give them a little rinse when you're getting ready to wash the dishes or whatever. Let them dry out for a couple of days just to help keep varmints from wanting to be attracted to them. They're not attracted to the coffee grounds and usually not too much of the kitchen scrap, but sometimes they can be attracted to those. But yes, coffee grounds are fantastic in the compost.
Well, anyway, that's I've actually done that. The hardest thing is lifting the pallets.
Yes.
Wood pallets.
Yeah.
But it makes a very secure type of compost pile where you can accumulate a lot of compost without it, worrying about whether it's going to break out or whatever. And
right.
With the slats on the pallet,
It gets
plenty
plenty
of
of air. You're right. Yes, it will. Plenty of air and a nice open top. It gets the rainwater and easy to add water if you needed to, and turn it if you needed to.
And what I do with the pipe in the center is you keep moving that pipe around to keep it loose.
Yes. Yep.
And then you do have to turn it over somewhat. But I've took care of all the mulching and everything with the produce from the from the
Oh yeah.
compost pile.
Oh yeah. Oh sure. Yeah, and as you garden, you have those little scraps that you can keep continually add in where you've taken plants out and things like that. I just that's a great way because it does become a continuous process once you get going with it.
Now, one last thing is we threw everything in there. Like if you had cucumbers and you peeled the cucumber off before. Everything went in the compost.
Yep, everything but meat, anything but meat, dairy, bread, things like that. Yep.
Well, that's my experiences doing composting.
I appreciate
Have a good
that.
day.
Thanks for the call, Sonny.
Thanks, Sonny. Yeah, appreciate that. It is one of those things, and it doesn't have to be as hard as sometimes people think it is or make it out to be. Had some folks came in actually to work yesterday, asking, did we have compost starter? I said, don't really need compost starter. I mean,
We have heat.
Nature sort of set it up. Pilot it will rot, but to help it along, it's mostly it is making sure you have a good combination of green material, which would be grass clippings and things like that. Then a nice variation of brown material, your carbon, which would be dried leaves and things like that. And then you can add, your kitchen scraps are part of that green material. You layer that in there, throw a handful or two of, or a couple shovelfuls of like black cow or whatever manure, handful of fertilizer in there, add some water, and it's going to kick off and get hot.
We the other day on Sunday, Susan, we went to the markets of Marion. We got a bunch of produce and everything.
Okay, yeah.
And Susan juiced a bunch.
Okay, so you got all
and she juiced probably 10 oranges for me so I could have fresh orange juice.
Right.
And so I peeled all the oranges. The orange peels went in the garbage.
Oh, yeah.
The juice, a juicer, you got the bag where all the pulp and everything goes.
Right.
All that went in the garbage. The beets, she peeled it, all that went in the garbage. All that would have been great compost.
Would have been fantastic compost.
The orange peels, everything.
Orange peels, a lot of people will tell you don't use orange peels. I don't know exactly what they claim, but the oils, I think. But if you break them down a little further, I think they're going to break down. They would be one of those ones I'd probably run through the food processor.
Right, but all the pulp and everything that we had, and the beet, the beet,
all the scraps, all that scrap
once it ran
material,
through the juicer, we should have used that as compost.
Right.
Well, we're starting to juice now because I'm fat and out of shape, and I got to do something.
Yeah.
So
Got to start taking care. You hit that age, you got to start taking care of yourself, because otherwise you do start rolling downhill.
When we peel the cucumbers to put them in the juicer and everything,
right?
All that can be used.
All
when
of
we
that
peel
can
potatoes to make mashed potatoes,
all of that can go in there.
go.
Why would you peel your potatoes to make mashed potatoes?
Because I hate the skins on potatoes.
Oh, see, I like lumpy potatoes.
I know.
Red skin potatoes. And I peel part of them. I'll
me.
peel part of them. I'll take, it's like, okay, I got red skin potatoes, and I'll take off, like, a peel out of the middle.
Yeah, but
and
I
used
the big white Idaho potatoes to make mashed potatoes.
Yeah, but still, some of the skins are good. It makes a nice lumpy mashed potato.
I peel my cucumbers all the way, too.
On regular cucumbers, I need to peel those and seed them, only because I get tired of burping them all day.
I love burping them all day.
Yeah,
fantastic.
Yeah, but the English cucumbers are a little expensive.
But anything like that is
perfect compost. And actually, there's even you can do if you've got enough material at one given time. Say you do go ahead and rake up the yard and get up the grass clippings and all that stuff. You can throw it in a black garbage bag. Throw a mess of the kitchen scraps. Save them up for a little bit. Get this all set up. Put some water in there, tie that bag up in a knot, and just go set it on the back fence. And like every few days, go just roll that bag over once. and each day go down the fence and then roll it back. And after you'll find that bag's not as fluffy, and it starts getting heavier but less material.
It's liquefying.
Because it's becoming dirt.
Okay.
It's becoming black gold. It's becoming soil, because all of that is breaking down. And yeah, all you got to do is flop that bag over every couple of days.
Especially in this Florida heat.
And the black garbage bag's going to help it to warm up. It's not killing off necessarily. The heat inside the bag will kill off bacteriums and things like that. So running it back and forth, that heat's going to get in there. And then, I would probably say after about month, 2 months, maybe after about a month, take a look inside. See how you are. If it's broke down real well, go ahead and add it to the garden. If it needs a little more time, make sure it's still moist. Maybe about once a month, check to make sure it's still moist enough, like a wrung out sponge.
Right.
That's about what you want you want that compost to feel like. If not, add a little water, tie that back up, and roll it the other direction. But a great way to do.
Roll it down the fence and back.
Roll it down the fence and back. About every 3 days, go out there and give it a flip. And, just keep giving it a flip. The bags you have to watch it, bags will break down in the sun.
Yes.
Yeah, when we bury a trash bag, no, they don't break down. But when they're out in the sun, they do break down.
But composting is something that, when she said I don't have to buy $100 composting
right,
unit.
you don't have to order one on Amazon and the big plastic unit and things like that. You don't need to do that. There's all kinds of simple methods. If you're just going to start, because like you say, you don't have a lot of stuff that comes out of the landscape, because you have a service that comes through and mows. All of yours is kitchen scrap, so doing right in the garden composting is a fantastic way to do.
Well, that's what she wanted to know was could she do it right
Yep.
there in the garden?
Right there in the garden. Started out in the kitchen. Like I said, I like to dry the eggshells, give them a crush, throw them in there.
I just boiled 6 eggs.
Right, so you got all the peels.
I put them all in the
all
garbage
in the
disposal.
garbage. Yep.
Grinded them up in the garbage disposal.
So, and all you got to do is just get they actually make fancy ceramic containers to put on the counter, which I guess ceramic is nice because it's not going to hold an odor.
Right.
Once you empty it, you rinse it out, it's not going to stink on the counter.
Certainly.
Where plastic may over time begin to hold an odor, especially you're adding onion trimmings and just if once a week you're running this stuff through and out to the garden. After a while, you may end up with a little bit of an issue.
You brought up a good point with the onions.
Yeah.
I'm so tired. I was at the
flea market. Yeah.
Everybody's got Vidalia onions for sale. Sign says Vidalia onions.
Vidalia onions.
$2 for a bucket.
Yeah.
Vidalia onions.
Yeah.
Sweet Vidalia onions.
onions,
$2 a bucket. I went up and down the row, the produce row. There were probably 20 different vendors.
Yeah.
3 had Vidalia onions. They all said they had Vidalia onions.
But only 3 truly had.
But only 3 had Vidalia onions.
Yeah.
But the average person doesn't know. Right. It's yellow, sweet yellow onion.
Yeah.
I know because a Vidalia has a certain smell that I've been all my life.
You've been trained. You're like a hound dog to Vidalia onion.
When I walk up, it's not a Vidalia. And I grabbed 2 onions. I go, I'm going to let you smell these. Tell me which one. And she smelled one, she smelled the other. She goes, well, that one's much more fragrant and sweet. I go, that's the Vidalia. She goes, that one doesn't have very much of a smell at all. I go, that's a yellow onion. It's not a sweet.
Right, it's just a sweet onion.
Right.
Yeah.
I said, and Susan she was like, wow, I had no idea. People are putting Vidalia onions out. But that's a pet peeve.
And they're not supposed to.
Well, but they're written in magic marker and everything.
Right. It's not.
Nobody's
going to
come get them
the
for
sticker.
the trademark.
Yeah, it's not on the sticker. But if Department of Agriculture was walking through there, they could get them on there.
But it's one of my pet peeves.
Yeah, it's just sell it as a sweet onion. I mean, if you're able to sell it, and sell yours.
The reason they sell it as Vidalia
because more people are going to go, ooh, Vidalia onions.
And a sweet yellow onion is 50 cents. Mm-hmm. They're selling Vidalias for $1.50, $2.
Right.
Which is amazing to me because the fact that people pay $2 for Vidalia onion. But does that happen a lot where people in these kind of situations will mislabel what they're selling?
I think that's probably one of the bigger ones, maybe, I mean, anything else usually from the packing house is already labeled.
Right.
So if you're buying them loose, they've taken them out of those 50-pound bags, repackaging them so they're not stickered. Like a Florida watermelon is going to have that Florida watermelon sticker. So is a South Carolina and Georgia
Well,
peaches.
it will if you're buying it from a rep, but if you're buying it from the guy that's got a truckload of watermelons on the corner.
Right. Well, but the ones that are coming, if they're buying a crate, usually every one in that crate has already been stickered because
Right.
it's passed that packing house's inspection, and weight class, and that this is what we're selling you is the 7 to 12 pound watermelon is in this size crate. So they've all been stickered because they've all crossed a scale or whatever. And so I think that possibly citrus might come through as something else. When you're looking at oranges and that, I mean, everybody can tell a navel. It's got a belly button.
Yes, that's why it's called a
why
navel
it's called
orange.
a navel orange. Yeah, but on those, on some of your, some of your other citrus might be coming through as something else. But I don't know whether or not you can really fake much of anything else. Maybe some of the corn.
Yeah, probably the only
Maybe corn you could do, but even then, it's we usually in your farmers markets and things like that only get southeastern corn. So more than likely, if it's a white corn, it's going to be a Silver Queen corn.
Right.
But then again, I don't know. Are there other good, in the southeast? We're not going to be getting too much of that northern corn.
I always know at these farmers markets, Vidalia get a.
Yeah, they
claim
get that.
Vidalia,
Yeah,
and they're not really
right,
Vidalias.
right, and that's about the only one I can think of that probably truly would be.
Another thing I'm aggravated about, and this is the things that aggravate me.
Right.
So it's big peanuts.
Oh, the chubs.
They aggravate me. Oh, I went. To,
You can't see us unless you're watching it on YouTube. Yes, I too am making the face. I like
I want
the
boiled
little
peanuts.
Valencia.
Do you have Valencia? No, I got these.
Yeah, no. Yeah, chubs do not. Yeah, do not do. And what I think is bad is the last time I went to the Market of Marion, nobody had green peanuts for boiling.
No.
But in local grocery store, local Florida chain grocery store, they had some that came out of Citra.
Right.
And I bought a overpriced 2 pounds of peanuts.
Could probably got a whole bushel for what you paid.
I probably. So that's a whole nother thing. But the worst part is they were not either the Valencia or I don't even know if they grow the floor runner anymore, of the small purple skinned, very, very good for boiling peanuts.
Right.
They just weren't good.
No.
And I cooked them. I mean, it was my, the flavor, if the peanut would have been good. And I'm going, I'm bummed on that.
Because you spent all that money.
I spent that money, and they wouldn't pop out of their shells.
No. And that's the aggravating when.
That's when you're
pop
sitting there
the shell
going,
open.
you're
You pop the shell open and it half and half.
half and and you got to dig them out with your teeth.
Yeah,
It's like just no. No, I was very disappointed in my.
That's really first world problems.
It is.
We're talking about first world problems.
It is. But I mean, anybody, you understand boiled peanuts. I love boiled peanuts when they're the correct peanut.
I have a friend of mine who literally, I thought I could boil peanuts. I've been boiling peanuts all my life.
You said that
I
you'll
quit.
put your peanuts away
I
to
quit.
get his peanuts. Yeah.
The way Paul, I don't know what he does, and he
Right.
does what recipe he does or anything, but my buddy Paul, when he cooks boiled peanuts, everybody, when they find out he's cooked boiled peanuts, goes, "Where's my bag?"
Yeah.
Everybody, all of our group of friends go, "Where's our bag?"
Where's our bag of peanuts?
He'll bring a big gallon bag of
Right.
peanuts up to our local watering hole.
Oh,
And
it's gone in
there'll
about
be
20
There'll
minutes.
be people crowded around. They sell more beer in that 20 minutes because we're eating
Oh,
peanuts and drinking beer.
Oh, yeah, you got it. Peanuts and beer. That's
And
it.
he's same way with collard greens.
Oh, yes. Here's your color.
Same way with collard greens. I quit. I'm good cook at collard greens. I'm a good cook. Can't cook collard greens
See,
the way
and
he
it's
does.
funny. I can't do too good on collard greens. I like anybody else's collard greens usually because I just don't. I don't.
His
know.
will make you want to slap your mama.
Wow.
They're that good. They're so good that I literally go buy them
And
buy enough so he
but-
can have his.
Right. Yeah. Cook for half. Yeah. Cook for half. Yeah.
I get it because he gets the neck bones and he does all,
Right,
and
right.
I get it all, and I say you keep half of it
Right. Yep. Cook for half.
because it's that good.
There you go.
And you can go get them. There's a place here in town where you can go buy them prepackaged.
Oh,
where they've
right,
already been
right.
chopped and washed and everything
yeah.
for under $3 a bag, and they're a 1 pound bag.
Wow.
So you can go.
Yeah, you get
you
a
can go buy
yeah.
3-4 bags.
Yeah, and get a mess. Yeah, that's the only way you can get it. And it is called a mess of
For
greens.
around
yeah.
$20 with when you talk about the meat that goes in and everything, you can get it all done.
Right.
We're going to take a break. We'll be right back. More with Carol Ann Baldwin after this timeout on 1370 AM, 96.3 FM. This is WOCA, The Source.
Broadcasting from the Ocala International Airport, this is WOCA AM, W242CA FM, Ocala, 1370 AM, 96.3 FM, The Source.
USA Radio News with Lance Pry.
The Haitian gang that kidnapped a group of 17 Americans and Canadian missionaries in Haiti has asked for $1 million each for their release, a top Haitian official said Monday. The kidnapped missionaries are affiliated with the Ohio-based Christian Aid Ministries, which confirmed the kidnapping on Sunday in a statement saying the abducted group was made up of 5 men, 7 women, and 5 children. 2 federal officials are reporting Americans can get coronavirus booster doses that are different from the kind they first received. The Food and Drug Administration is expected to make that announcement on Wednesday. Production at U.S. factories in September fell by 1.3%, the most in 7 months. There's been a sharp pullback in the manufacturing of motor vehicles, as well as broader backlog supply chains and materials shortages. This is USA Radio News.
If your family depends on your income and something happened to you, what would happen to them? You need life insurance, and SelectQuote can help you get it at a price you can afford.
SelectQuote found Jacob, 40, who's in excellent health, a 10-year, $500